Thanks, Adderley. In studio today, we have two teachers who are new to the classroom but not new to CCHS. On my left is Ruby Mendoza, who teaches history, and on my right is Jessica Becerra, who teaches English. Welcome to the show. So, where did you graduate from and what's your degree in?
I graduated from UCLA and I majored in political science.
Okay. What's the best thing about your first year of teaching and what's the most difficult thing about it?
The best thing is definitely the students. I have a lot of fun with my kids all day long. Each period is exciting and different than the last, and each day is something different. So it's definitely not a boring job. And what's most difficult is probably the amount of work that I have to do, lesson planning and grading. I'm usually at school until 6 or 7 at night, so I have no life during the week.
That's true. At what point did you make the decision to be a teacher?
I decided while I was in college. I was actually considering law school, and I decided that I could make just as much change as a high school teacher as I could as a lawyer. So that's when I decided to do it.
Nice. What's changed at CCHS since you graduated?
So much has changed. A lot of great changes. We have new administration, new teachers, new ideas that are floating around. We have collaborative meetings. I know we get late start. You guys get to sleep in, but we're here collaborating, trying to figure out the best way to make the school improve in a lot of areas. Academic, unity, just make the school overall better. And I think that the students and the staff have noticed that the morale has gone up. So a lot of good changes.
Who are the teachers that are still here that you had as a student?
I'd say I have a lot of the same teachers. Mr. Conklin is still here. He was one of my favorites. I had him a couple years and he's still here giving me advice. So same old support system from him. And see, other teachers, Mr. Stobie, he was my ASB advisor, and so I still get involved with ASB and he takes us on trips and that's fun.
That's nice. When you entered college, did you already had on your mind set on coming back to CCHS?
Well, like I said, I was considering law school, but if there was any high school that I ever considered teaching at, or any school I considered teaching, it was definitely CCHS. That's the place where I see myself. It's my home. I'm a Lion. Couldn't see myself anywhere else. So yeah, it's always been CCHS.
Now, Jessica, it's your turn. As I said, where did you graduate from and what's your degree in?
I graduated from UC Santa Barbara and I double majored in English and Spanish.
What's the best thing about your first year of teaching and what's the difficult thing?
The best thing about my first year teaching is probably all the kids. It's a fun job. Every period is different, just like Ms. Mendoza had said earlier. The characteristics and dynamics in every room is great. I love it. And the most difficult part is probably the workload. I wasn't expecting, I always knew teachers graded a bunch of essays, but I wasn't expecting as many, and you have to keep the kids busy, so then it makes my workload bigger, but it's all fun. So that's probably the most difficult part, adjusting to the workload.
That's good. Who was your inspiration to be a teacher?
My first inspiration was probably Mrs. Oglesby. She was my first grade teacher. And in middle school, I had Mr. Slusser, and in high school, I had Miss Kane. So all those great teachers inspired me to become a teacher.
Wow, that's a lot of teachers.
I know, I was lucky. I had a lot of really great teachers.
Yeah. At what point did you make the decision to be a teacher?
When I was 6 years old. I loved looking at lesson plans. I loved looking at my teachers' grade books. I always pictured my classroom since I was 6 years old. No, interesting.
What's changed at CCHS since you graduated?
Oh, a lot of things have changed. The atmosphere, students' attitude, staff attitude, administration. I feel like I'm part of a team. Everybody wants to work to make the school better, so that's changed a lot.
Who are the teachers that are still here that you had as a student?
A lot of them. Let's see. Kane, Gardner, I had Fleener, I had Conklin, I had Mueller, I had Gdermick. I had tons of them, so it's kind of nice when the kids walk into my class and they're like, Gdermick's class is so hard, and I'm like, I know, I remember. So it's really nice to have that relationship with the kids, that I had the same teachers that they have.
Yeah, and just tell them that, oh, they're good.
Tough it out. I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah. When you entered college, did you already have your mind set on coming back to CCHS?
I wasn't sure. At first I wanted to teach elementary school level, and then once I started with the elementary program, I decided that I would make a better impact and make a bigger difference if I taught at a high school level. But if I had to choose any high school, I would definitely come back here. I would never go anywhere else.
Well, thank you, Ruby and Jessica, for coming to the show, and good luck to you on your teaching in the future. Back to you, Adderley.